Are you a true fan of true crime? Well, if you've got the time, Hulu has the true crime. That's right, Hulu is your partner in true crime. With shows like Cold Case Files, Wild Crime Blood Mountain, Accused Guilty or Innocent, Torso Killer Confessions, and lots more forensic favorites, Hulu has everything you need for a night of you time with some true crime. Hulu, your partner in true crime.
Slack presents Baby's First Workflow.
John, come quick and see what little Jimmy's built.
Ah, finally playing with those blocks we got him. What is that?
It's a Slack workflow. By just dragging and dropping pre-built actions in Slack, he's automated away the most time-consuming aspects of our workday.
He can do that?
Anyone can do that.
Workflow.
His first words.
Workflow.
Automation without the frustration. That's workflows in Slack.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And we got a visitor. She's back. What's her name? Who is she?
Suzanne.
Suzanne, that's Mike's wife. Woo! Woohoo! She is brand new. We popped her podcast cherry. She is on episode what now? Because she's
42.
been binging. Episode 42, and she literally started
In January.
January 10th.
Yeah.
January 10th. So
Wow, she's really moving fast.
she's moving fast. Also,
That's dedication.
we have a couple questions, just like we do all of our visitors.
Whenever we have a guest, we have to basically vet them and let's just see how. Let's just let you get to know let the listeners get to know you, right?
Right.
What's your question?
I'm going to start with, how do you feel about furries?
They kind of scare me,
Okay.
and I don't understand it. And Mike actually had that Bugs Bunny head or whatever, the head thing, and so that scared me too. He wasn't allowed to bring it home ever.
Oh, no.
So no, I don't. I mean, do you? But don't
Not
do
for
that
you.
around me.
Not for you.
Yeah.
You're not turned
Nope.
on by furries.
What about kids?
You don't dress up as a furry.
Being furries at school and wanting to be identified.
Just in general.
As a
Yeah.
cat, yeah. Or
I mean, I have heard about kids at school that are dressing up as furries.
and they're peeing in litter boxes.
I
Oh,
think that
goodness.
was a fake news, but I did hear it.
Well, a principal made a whole thing about it in Michigan.
I know, fake news.
Oh, it
Oh.
wasn't really a principal?
I heard it was all fake news.
Oh.
But it was a good story
Well,
because I
don't know.
believed it for a second.
Oh,
I do believe
I think it has to do with intent, almost like everything else. Are they old enough to actually understand what that is, and is that their actual idea or somebody else's?
Are you
Is their
trying to
mama
get us
furry?
canceled?
No, but I'm saying, I'd just say, are their parents furry? Like, how does a kid know that?
Yeah.
Because the internet and social media.
Why are they on the social media that young?
Exactly, but
Well, I'm just
who doesn't have a phone now? So if I have, good thing I don't have any kids because they wouldn't be having a phone. Actually,
Nope.
no. I'll
I
be
was
like,
very
here,
strict
take
with my
this.
kids.
Get out of my face.
Flip phone.
Yeah, just give them a Game Boy.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway, do you have a question? Don't be stealing my question.
How many tattoos do you have?
Oh.
8.
How did you even know she had a tattoo?
Tattoo?
You feel like she just says tattoo
I know I've
lady?
seen one, but yeah, I feel like she's got a whole sleeve that she hides.
Well, I have one for my dad, one for my mom, one for Mike and I. It's one on my neck. And I was waiting for the porn question and the tramp stamp. I have a tramp stamp. There you go.
See?
Well, because again, 90s. I'm 50. Like that was that thing. One on my ankle, things like that. Yeah.
But I do have
want
one that you regret.
My very first one is a mouse on my ankle, and while it's not like regret, I would have done something different.
Yeah.
I just didn't at that. I think I was 20, and so it was cute.
And you
my
liked
brother-in-law
them.
did it.
And you liked mouses.
It was cute because I just had my first
Would
kid.
that be mice?
Would it be mouse? Mice?
You liked
like
mouses.
mice?
Well, so it's a little Tom and Jerry's cousin. You know, the little gray one with the little cute one? It was more because I had just had my first kid. And so I was like, okay. But anyway.
I have a confession.
No, I don't
have a Tweety Bird tattoo that I totally
came very
regret.
close to Tweety Bird. I very much did.
Where is it?
It is where the tramps get it. And
Where
I'm
the
basically
tramps?
yellow.
Yeah, I'm a tramp.
Yeah, you just called her a tramp.
And I'm basically yellow, and so you really can't even tell it's Tweety Bird because we're the same damn color.
Oh, it is actually yellow.
Tweety
Bird's yellow,
Tweety Bird, Tweety Bird's
But
yellow.
I think of a tattoo and I think it's a black. Like
no.
a black. Is that racist?
No. The green.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
All right,
no.
what else do you have?
Well, I did want to ask if your parents ever gave you porn, but that's just a side question, and I do have another question.
Did your parents ever give you porn?
Oh my God, my mom didn't even. My mom wouldn't. I have kids and we don't talk about sex. Like that's just immaculate or something. We don't.
Really?
No porn. No. Oh no, we don't. You don't talk about that.
Okay.
Ever.
Y'all were real Baptists?
I was baptized Catholic, raised Baptist, went to Methodist when I was in like middle school with my friends. I've gone to Pentecostal, Presbyterian.
She a Heinz 57.
I am. I've been to all kinds.
Okay.
But my real question was, would you rather wrestle naked in Jell-O or chocolate syrup?
Jell-O only because it melts with heat, and so therefore it's not as sticky afterwards. And I like chocolate. I do not want to associate something I like to put in my mouth with something that's all over my body. I just don't want to do that.
I mean, fair.
Mm.
So there you have it.
And how did you and Mike meet?
Well, he stalked me for a while,
Okay.
and so I finally gave
love
in.
stalkers.
Well, it kind of is sort of that story. Our kids actually knew each other, which was weird. We didn't know that till after we met. And so our kids like went to school together and knew each other and stuff. And then he worked where I worked, and we had a mutual friend, and we had both just gotten divorced within a couple of years. So they were like, "Oh, hey."
I thought
So
you were
it's
going to say a
weird.
swinger party.
No pineapples, no red mulch. And I did see your post about putting the new mulch out. I was looking for red. I'm just saying there was no red on that mulch. But
No mulch, no red mulch. But I had it
No.
at my other house, and then I found that out, and I was like, red mulch looks the best.
But I
didn't
told you
get
before, I don't share. So
Yeah.
don't do that.
Nope. No sharing.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it for the questions. I have a little shout out. We did get a little Venmo.
Oh, yeah.
That would be from Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And she said it's for the Idaho trip GoFundMe start or just tequila. So if you don't know, we do have a Venmo, which is at Bloody Happy Hour. And we also have CASHAPP, which is $ Bloody Happy Hour. And you can send us, drinks. So we can have drinks, or, if I'm going to go to Idaho to watch the little bit of the trial, you can help me pay for my trip, or, just those things are great. You can
She
send
begging.
$1,000. I don't
Black
care.
people beg.
We're just saying, listen, this, we do a lot of these stories, right? And we're not just talking off the top of our head. We are taking time to
it
research
is.
the stories.
That's
Your
probably why
side
we're
hustle
quit.
needs it.
So this is a side hustle. It does take a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy.
That's probably why I'm about to quit. There'll
Good
probably
thing
be
I don't have any kids, because I would not be able to focus on this.
quitting. This is the last episode.
And, ever since I got this new boss lady at work, she's making me do work.
Okay, so
But I love it.
Manscaped is back, you guys. Y'all loved it so much. They loved Bloody Happy Hour so much that they turned that code right back on. Caroline, how much was our Manscaped discount?
20% off?
It was 20% off anything you put in your cart at, what's the website?
Manscaped.com.
It is.
And you get free shipping.
Free shipping any and everywhere you want to ship them
you
to.
get the weed whacker, you can get the lawnmower, you can get the ball deodorant.
Yes.
I mean, nothing is better than a man with a nicely shaven beard. You don't want to be going over here looking like Brian Koberger with his cuts and shit all over his chin and his face. Okay?
Yes.
So if he would have used Manscaped, he would be looking fresh. But
Fresh
no,
and shiny.
He didn't. He's using prison razor blades, and who even cares?
Women, get it for your beaux. Beaux, get it for yourself if you're single.
Yep.
Nobody likes a little scuzzy.
Nobody likes
scuzziness
a
at
big
all.
bush.
All right, y'all. Manscaped.com. Enter the code happy hour.
No, the code is actually BHH.
Oh, and do the code, whatever. I'll take it out.
BHH. The
BHH.
code is BHH.
Okay. What's the story for today?
Let me tell you. We're going to South Carolina.
Susan Smith.
No, bitch. Get ready. We're listening. I'm going to tell you this, but we're listening first.
This is Alex Murdaugh at 4147 Moselle Road. I need the police and the ambulance immediately. My wife and child just shot badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay?
Hurry.
Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
Colin County Communications.
Collison, I have an Alex Murdaugh on the line, caller from 4147 Moselle Road. He's advising that his wife and child was shot.
Okay, and sir, give me the address again.
It's 4147 Moselle Road. I've been up to it now. It's bad.
Okay. Okay, and are they breathing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you said it's your wife and your son?
My wife and my son.
Are they in a vehicle?
No, ma'am. They're on the ground out at my kennels.
Okay, and did you see anyone? Okay, is he breathing at all?
No.
Is she? Okay, do you see anything? Do you see anyone in the area?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
What color is your house on the outside? What color is your house on the outside?
It's white. You can't see it from the road.
Okay, is it a house or a mobile home?
It's a house.
Okay, and what is your name?
My name is Alex Murdaugh.
Okay, and did you hear anything, or did you come home and find them?
No, man, I've been gone. I just came back.
Okay, and was anyone else supposed to be at your house?
No, ma'am. Please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Okay, what is her name?
Maggie and Paul.
Maggie is her name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And please hurry.
We're getting somebody out there to you. Me asking you these questions don't slow them down, okay? And you sure they're not breathing? Is he moving at all, your son? I know you said that she was shot, but what about your son?
Nobody's. They're not. Neither one of them's moving.
What is your telephone number? And does anything look out of place?
Ma'am, not particularly, really, no, ma'am.
Okay.
Are they close, ma'am?
Yeah, they've been en route with you ever since you've got on the phone with me. I have multiple people coming out there to you. Okay. I don't want you to touch them at all, okay? I don't know if you've already touched them, but I don't want you to touch them just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
I'd already touched them trying to get to see if they were breathing.
Okay. Well, I just don't want you to move anything just in case they can get any kind of evidence, okay?
Okay.
The Murdaughs.
So I'm really excited to talk about this case because it's been happening, or been
ongoing. For a while.
Yes, it's such a complicated case. There's so many layers. It's so tragic. There's so much that is included in this case. So the trial that's happening right now is just for the murder of Maggie and Paul.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you a little bit about all the other ones and just briefly touch on each of them. And then I'm going to play the opening statements from the trial, the prosecution, and the defense, so we can hear a little bit about what they are arguing.
Okay.
And we're going to go into a little bit of the history of these people, because these people have run this town for like over 100 years.
Yeah. I feel like they're the Duttons, but you don't watch Yellowstone.
I do.
They're like the Duttons.
Okay, maybe they're the Duttons. So for anybody who's been loosely paying attention to this, it is all of these different events. Well, they curiously tie together, and let's just first. His name is Alex Murdaugh. You can say Alec Murdaugh. You can say Alec Murdaugh. You can.
Yeah, because it's
people have, oh, you don't say it like this, say it like this, say it like this. But they even specified in the trial that you can say it any way you want to say it.
Okay.
Just based on your accent. So I might say Alex and I might say Murdaugh or Murdaugh. I don't know. Just that's how we're going to do it. Okay. So there you go. First, this is a story of generational power, corruption, wealthy Southern family who has a huge amount of wealth and influence. And there's, along with this, is recklessness, greed, and murder. So we have all of the things. This is literally a movie. This is a movie. This is not real. How is this real life? But it is. So the Murdaugh family has been one of the wealthiest families in South Carolina in this area for over 100 years. So beginning in 2015, they slowly started to crumble due to a long list of financial crimes and 5 suspicious deaths. Okay.
5?
Some of it. These are the deaths that are included. An alleged homophobic hate crime.
Oh, yes.
A deadly boating accident. A mysterious fall and an insurance scam. The double murder of mom, which would be Maggie and Paul. And a bizarre roadside incident that may have been another insurance scam. Okay. Do you know about that one? Have you heard of that? Have either of y'all heard
of that?
Yes. Yeah, but not all the details. I mean, this goes so far back.
I think the homophobic one I do actually know about. So I'm going to wait till you start talking about it, but I do think that's what I think it is.
I feel like for me, what brought the Murdaugh's docs to my attention was the boating incident. So did it all come out with the boating incident and then all this other stuff has been revealed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. And then if you guys are Dexter listeners, Dexter watchers, the new, like Dexter ended and then it started again where Dexter came back. That new season that came out, the story is based on.
Oh, really?
Not totally, but they
loosely based on it?
Yeah, very loosely. They have this powerful family. There's this horrible boating accident where there's rich, whatever. So that's when I watched Dexter. I was like, oh, they're talking about the Murdaughs.
Wow, it's crazy. So this whole tangled web of Alex Murdaugh, he was indicted in 2020. No. Well, yes, 2021. Well, so he was facing over 80 charges because there's all these financial charges. Mm-hmm. So he pleaded not guilty to and he pled not guilty to a lot of things, and this kind of set the stage for this trial, which just started
yesterday.
Well, I guess when this comes out, it's like 2 weeks, a week and a half ago. So, and they're saying it's just like the trial of the century, maybe in that area. I don't know overall, but I feel like it probably is. And the great news is it's televised. So, guess who's in it? So this powerful, it's called the Lowcountry. So this area consists of 4 counties, and it's been run by the Murdaughs for all this time. So Randolph Murdaugh Sr. founded this law office in Hampton County in 1910. His firm eventually grew into a large, powerful practice, and it was continued on by his son, Randolph Jr. And by his grandson. Wait, guess what his grandson's name is?
Buster.
Randolph III.
Oh.
What? So we have
Mortimer,
Randolph Sr., Randolph Jr., and Randolph III. I think one of them is like in parentheses Buster.
Oh, okay.
So there's multiple Busters. So from 1920 to 2006, all 3 men were solicitors. Okay, and solicitors means prosecutors. That's what they call them in South Carolina.
Oh.
So it's for
now or then?
That's what they're called.
Oh.
They're called this solicitor. So for South Carolina's 14th Circuit Court, that's where they are. The Murdaughs have this 86-year stretch, and it's the longest family legacy in U.S. history. And so this family has like all this power and influence over these counties and over this jurisdiction. So Randolph III, okay, we have the 3 Randolphs. Randolph III has 2 sons, Randolph IV and Alec. Okay, who's the oddball? So they both followed in their father's footsteps and became lawyers. But there were some changes, like in the laws, and neither of them could serve as solicitors, but they still served as volunteer prosecutors. So they're still lawyers. It's just technical. So they're still continuing with the family's law practice. Well, this family law firm was named Peters, Murdaugh, Parker, Ellsroth, and Dietrich, which it's known as PMPED.
Okay.
So in the case, you'll hear them refer to the law firm PMPED. So, but after Alec was indicted for the murder of Maggie and Paul, the firm fired Alec and changed the name to Parker Law Group. So that was like a big, huge deal for the area. Like they took his name completely out of the law firm.
Why?
Because he was indicted for the murder of Maggie
just
and Paul.
now.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a long time ago he did that. No, recently.
Yeah, they just want to get away from the stigma of having his name involved, and they take it out.
Never.
Right? Yeah, I know. So Alex, born in 1967, he went to the University of South Carolina. That's where he met Maggie. They became, besties, and then they got married in 1993. They had 2 sons. They get married in 1993? That is, how long ago is that? 30 years ago?
No, it's like...
Yes.
It
40.
is 30 years ago.
It's not 40. I graduated in 91, and it's over 30 years, so I just had 30.
I feel like 1993 should not be that long ago. I was like, they should have been married in 1963. But no, 1993. Okay. Buster and Paul are their 2 sons. Buster was 1996. He was born Paul in 1999. So Buster's the older one. Okay. So they lived in luxury. They have a beach house. They have private houses. They have this huge estate, like where they have a hunting lodge, and it's called Moselle.
And they're all redhead and freckle face.
Your favorite?
Yes.
What you hating on redhead?
No,
I
she
love
loves.
I'm obsessed.
No, they're not just.
And
they're not red. They're like red.
Yeah.
Like red.
Like this right here.
Yes. So this Moselle estate is like 1,700 acres. It's pretty big. So they just lived up their life. Alec he lived an extravagant lifestyle. They all did. And they weren't the nicest. They knew they had money and they acted like it, and that's just they could do anything they wanted. They could get away with anything they wanted, and they just didn't care. They had no rules. That was how they lived.
Yeah.
And Alex started, the way that he was living led to all these financial crimes. So he was facing fraud charges. He's facing embezzlement charges. He's attempting these insurance scams because he's needing to pay for all. Apparently, he starts having this drug addiction, so he's having to pay for that. And he's like having to steal all this money, and it eventually adds up to $8.5 million.
Damn.
That's a lot of.
Does it come out that he really has a drug addiction, or is this him just saying that? I know that's
what he says. He's even he apparently goes to rehab too.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So,
Did it say his drug of choice ever?
It was like pain pills.
Oh, okay.
But
who wants to take pain pills?
I asked my ex-husband.
Oh, he liked everything.
I know. But what's interesting also is that during all of this, he was like big, like 250 or something. And now he's like he's like 100 pounds thinner. Like he is like super, super skinny now.
And traditionally when you're on drugs, you're not. That's what. Well, I don't.
That depends.
I don't know. I mean, Dirty Chad's mom's on pain pills and she's real big.
Oh, because that makes you constipated, so you don't ever take a shit.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So with all this power and wealth, surely you can get away with anything. You can get away with anything. I mean, you can pay people off to say whatever you want them to say, which is what he did. But then initially, after these deaths is whenever like everything started coming to a head, and all these like cover-up allegations and corruption allegations started really coming up. And so this is what started a separate investigation into all of these different crimes, which I'm about to tell you about. And they slowly like knotted themselves together in this web of tragedy. And all these dramatically different deaths. I mean, these are all just random and totally, it's crazy. So let's go back to 2015.
Okay.
Do we want to take a break yet?
No.
And this is the death of Stephen Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So July 8th, 2015, 19-year-old Hampton student Stephen Smith called his mother to tell her he ran out of gas. So later that night, he's found in the middle of the road, miles away from his truck. He died of blunt force trauma, and his body had been found laid out in the middle of the road like a snow angel. Quote unquote, according to his mother. So authorities with South Carolina Highway Patrol initially assumed that Stephen was the victim of a hit and run after leaving his truck and walking to get gas, and closed the case, despite several observations by the police suggesting that Stephen's death was a homicide. Okay. Police also later noted that the scene looked staged, and rumors started to swirl around town, small town, and it was that the rumors were that Stephen was dating Buster Murdaugh, which is Alex's son and older son. And at the time that he had been the victim of either a hate crime or that the Murdaugh brothers had a role in his death. So in June 2021, while SLED. SLED is South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
It's like their Texas Ranger.
Like state law enforcement division. While they're investigating these other murders that are related to the Murdaugh family, they reopened this case. So they had like closed it all. They're like brushing it under the rug. Well, they reopen it, and then they have this investigation into his death, basically implying that they were somehow connected.
Yeah.
And so far, no charges, no indictments have been issued. It's still an open investigation. And Stephen Smith's mother says that she hopes that at least these latest indictments with Maggie and Paul will lead to opening something up and bringing them justice. What I've heard that happened is maybe he was walking along the road for some reason, and then there was the Murdaughs and some friends were driving in a truck, and they had a bat that was hanging out the window, and they like drove super fast and then like hit him, and then he just was left in the side of the road
because Buster didn't want his love affair coming out.
Yeah, what's it supposed to? I mean, why was it going to come out?
The police were going to say. Police said that he must have been walking because he ran out of gas. And a truck came by too fast, and the side mirror hit him in his head, and that's how he died. Like, how does the side mirror just hit you?
You got to be
in your
pretty
head?
Close, unless the truck. If they caught somebody, they said.
So it was just like a random explanation that they had for the murder, but they didn't even investigate even further. So they just closed it.
Yeah.
Like you said. But then they were saying, okay, if you ran out of gas and you are going to maybe go get gas, why would you leave your wallet in the car and your money? So he had left his wallet in the car. So they don't even know that what if you're going to go get gas or going to go get help, you would at least take your wallet.
Yeah.
So that part didn't even make sense either.
That's so weird. And then we're fast forwarding 2018.
Okay.
This is the death of Gloria Satterfield and a whole lot of fraud. I'm going to play the 911 call, and then I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Come here. 911, where's your emergency? 4147 Moselle Road. Okay, can you give me the address one more time, make sure I got it right? Yes, 4147.
That's Maggie talking.
Moselle Road. Okay, what's going on out there? I'm sorry? What's going on out there? My housekeeper has fallen and her head is bleeding. I cannot get her up. Okay, you said she's fallen. She's bleeding from the head? Yes. Okay. How old is she? I'm not sure, like 58 maybe. Do you know if she fell from standing or not? No. No. Where'd she fall from? She fell from the brick steps. Okay, so she outside or inside? Outside. Okay. How many steps is there? 8. Okay, is she on the ground or is she up near the top? She's on the ground. She's on the ground. She's on the ground. Is she conscious? No, not really. Is she awake at all? Yes. Okay.
She fell like 8 steps.
Is she just not like responding appropriately, but she is awake? Ma'am, she's not responding. Okay, I've already got them on the way. Me asking questions does not slow them down, ma'am. Knowing if she's conscious is one of the things that the medic needs to know. If she's responding at all to you. No. Okay, so she's not responsive at all. Well, I mean, she's mumbling. Okay, so she's conscious. Is she breathing okay? Yes. Is she bleeding from anywhere? Yes, her head. Okay, are you guys able to control the bleeding? No. Can you put a clean rag or anything on it? Yeah, I got it. Okay, is she bleeding from like her face, the back of the head? I've got an ambulance coming. Sir, my name what? Where exactly is she bleeding from on her head? I'm not sure, at the top of her head. Okay.
Did they just check her?
She doesn't sound too
Okay. Oh, gosh. What happened? She just fell back down. Can I get off this phone so I can go down there? Can I have your name and phone number? Or are you able to bring the phone down by her? What? Are you on a cell phone where you can walk down there and talk? I'm on a cell phone. No. Okay, can you bring it with you so we can ask her some questions about what kind of pain she's having? Hello?
This is Paul.
Yeah, can you ask the patient what kind of pain she's having? Ma'am, she can't talk. Okay, do you know... She's cracked her head and there's blood on the concrete and she bleeds out of her left ear. Okay, she's bleeding out of her ear.
And out of her head. She's cut in the skull.
Okay. All right. The other lady said that she had tried to stand up and fell down again.
No, I was holding her up. And
okay.
She told me to turn her loose, and she was trying to use her arm, but then she fell back over.
Okay. Do you guys know who she is?
Yes, she works for us.
Okay. Do you know if she's ever had a stroke or anything before?
Ma'am, can you stop asking her these questions?
I already have them on the way. I already have them on the way. Me asking questions does not slow them down in any way. These are relevant questions that I have to ask for the ambulance. One of my questions is, has she ever had a stroke?
I don't believe she's ever had a stroke, not that I know
of. Okay, is she able to talk to you guys at all, or is she unconscious now?
She's not unconscious, she's just mumbling.
Okay.
I believe she's maybe hit her head and maybe has a concussion or something.
Okay.
Maybe.
Do you know what her name is?
Gloria Satterfield.
You said Sanderfield?
Ma'am?
You said Sanderfield?
Satterfield.
Satterfield.
Wow.
If that does not tell you who these people are,
there was no urgency. There was no like empathy.
And I do have
no
like,
concern.
You know, I know, but this was Maggie and Paul. They made the phone call. They are now deceased, and you know, they're dead now. So I mean, but still, this was who they are, and it obviously there was no urgency. They were like, can I get off the phone now? Excuse me, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, what? Did y'all think, is that, like...
Well, and, yeah, because it's going to come out how long they knew this lady.
Oh, yes, she was there, like living, I think living, but, like, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, she's known these boys since they were babies.
She's raised Paul.
She raised
and
them.
Buster, and that's the concern.
They're acting like some lady just...
So how old is Paul during this?
20. He was 22 when he was
killed, or no?
No, because he was in high school when he was on the boat. He's born in 99. So how?
I think that almost makes it worse if he's younger and still has that.
Okay, if you're born in 99, how old are you in 2021?
25. No.
So he was out of school. I guess he was in college.
Like 22, I think. 21.
Okay, then I was right. He was 22.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
Before we get back to the show, don't forget to go to the website, Four Sigmatic. What does Four Sigmatic stand for?
Really good for you.
Really. There were two reallys.
Two reallys and one in all caps.
What's the website?
go.foursigmatic.com/happy-hour.
That gives you 30% off any of the amazing supplements that you can get. Four Sigmatic. All of this stuff is brewed with
mushrooms,
the greatest mushrooms, lion's mane and chaga.
After World War II,
there was a shortage of coffee, so they figured this shit out, and now they're bagging it and selling it. So go get yours so you can have all the mental clarity,
all the focus,
all the non-depression,
all the focus.
All right.
Get excited. And now back to the show. Okay, Gloria Satterfield. So on February 2nd, 2018, which we discussed how old Paul was in 2018. He was 19.
Yes.
Okay. And so the Murdaugh, this is their longtime housekeeper. And she suffered a severe head injury at the Moselle estate. She died on February 26th. So the fall was February 2nd. And then February 26th.
So she died at the hospital, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And she died due to complications of a stroke. But also in the 911 call, you heard that she fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
8.
Okay. But I believe these were the outside steps that were going up to like the front door.
She said that.
Okay. And yeah, it's just like 8 steps. So if you're going upstairs.
She did say they're brick. But
yes, they are brick stairs, but like what you're walking upstairs and then you trip over a step and then you crack your head open?
I don't know.
Because later we find out is that the story changes and the story is that she tripped over a dog. But they didn't mention that in the 911 call.
Oh, I do remember the dog part because they did bring that up that it wasn't in
Later.
the 911 call. All of a sudden, there's the dog.
All of a sudden, there's the dog. So
wow,
it's a little suspicious.
So can we go to that 911 call? Did we say? I think we went to break and we said it to ourselves about how much emotion was not behind that phone call.
Zero emotion.
Were we recording when we said that?
I think we might have been, but if we weren't, we are now.
Zero emotion, but also think about how much we judge 911 calls. How many 911 calls have we played on our podcast? And that leads us to believe guilty or innocent in a second, right?
Yeah.
Like you really judge people, how they talk, how their emotion is. But remember, I don't know what story we did, but the statistic came out that it was like 44% of people who call 911 based on a murder have actually committed the murder. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big percentage of that. So that's what I thought about too during the 911 call.
Yeah, because it's what I've heard, and this is all just alleged rumors, whatever, is that Gloria may have been finding out stuff about the family, just about some financial stuff from Alex, but I have no clue what they have alleged happened. Like, did somebody push her down? But not really, because they haven't gone back and investigated. Let's go back. So February 26th, she dies from a stroke, or complications from a stroke. Cause of her death is unclear because the coroner was never notified and the Satterfield's body was never autopsied.
Ugh.
Authorities later described her death.
Own the town.
Yes, because they say that her death was natural and resulting from an accidental trip and fall. So Satterfield's death didn't initially bring suspicion until a little bit later. And according to multiple criminal indictments and multiple lawsuits, Alex Murdaugh and two other men, this banker Chad Westendorf and attorney Corey Fleming. Corey Fleming is a name that comes up a lot. Now, apparently, these guys all conspired to steal Satterfield's $4.3 million insurance policy by misleading Satterfield's son and diverting all the funds to Alec himself through a phony business Alec created called Forge.
Oh, and do you know how sketchy they did it?
Yes.
At the funeral?
Tell us.
I just heard this today because I wanted to know about this story. So the sons, Gloria's sons, said that they did not come to the hospital. They did not call them. None of the Murdaughs
went to the hospital.
None of that. But at the funeral, they were there. And at the funeral, Alec went up to one of the sons and was like, I want to take care of you.
Yes.
I want you to be able to not have to worry about money. Why don't you file a wrongful death lawsuit because it happened at my house?
Mm-hmm.
File a wrongful death lawsuit and you'll get this big old payout. And so son was like, oh, I trust you. You know what you're doing. You're a Murdaugh. You're a solicitor.
Yeah. And our family's known you for forever.
Yes. You have to love my mom. She worked for y'all for 20 plus years. So they trusted him and did it. And the sons never got a cent.
And Alec is the one who suggested Corey Fleming to them but then Corey was like this good friend of his. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you should go use Corey Fleming. He basically was convincing them to sue him.
Yeah, because they knew it could be done and be paid out. And he wouldn't really get in trouble for it. It was because it was at his house.
And so this whole thing is they created this whole different business account called Forge. And it's something like they wrote the check out to Forge and it wasn't connected to Alec. But then somehow it went into the separate account, so it wasn't tied to him. I mean, it's this in-depth whole scheme that to avoid it from being tied back to him. Mm-hmm. Well, what's funny is that he was later charged with forgery, and this business he created was named Forge. So it's So part of the scam is he convinced the sons, just like you said, to sue him, and once he did get money, he kept all the money for himself.
How?
He didn't give any of it to the kids.
He's such a great person.
Yeah.
So he set it up where the insurance would pay Forge
and not
instead of the actual son.
Yes.
Well, that's crafty.
Yeah. So it's like these schemes are well thought out, very calculated.
So if all that was calculated, this death was calculated.
That's what I mean. How can they not be? So the Satterfield insurance scam was just one of the laundry lists of incidents where Alec embezzled and defrauded money from his clients and his law firm. So he did this by settling cases for large sums of money and then failing to tell them about it while he spent the client's settlement payout on himself and his drug addiction.
My God.
He repeated the same pattern among several others. And another one was this guy named Hakeem Pickney, who was a college football player and became a quadriplegic following an auto accident. This guy died in 2011, and his family never saw more than a $750,000 payout.
But what did he actually get?
I don't know, because he's still at all. In Satterfield's case, suspicious behavior of Alec was revealed around her death, including arriving on the scene before the EMTs and insisting that he heard Satterfield say his dogs caused her to fall down the stairs, which contradicted her own statement. I guess she was able to give a statement because it says contradicted her own statement, and that she said she had no idea what caused her to fall.
Oh, she wanted to keep her job, I bet. She didn't want to tell on him.
She probably did. So Satterfield's son were eventually able to recover more than $6.5 million.
Yay!
From lawsuits. But in the meantime, authorities received permission to exhume Satterfield's body.
Okay.
And in June 2022, they continued the criminal investigation into her death. So we're still
just now June. Okay.
June 2022. So like a year ago, a little less than a year ago.
So we're going to have a separate trial.
I keep calling him Corey Fleming. Corey Fleming he's being charged with things. They're going to reinvestigate Satterfield. They're going to go probably look at Stephen Smith. So they have all of these different cases they have to do.
What's the next one?
We got
a new 911
2019, the death of Mallory Beach. And here's a little 911 call for you.
What bridge is it? Paul, what bridge is this? Oh, what bridge?
911, where's your emergency? Hello? Police, fire, EMS. Hello?
We're in a boat crash on Arthur Street.
Whereabouts on Arthur Street?
In Arthur Street, the only bridge on Arthur Street.
Archer Street?
Archer's Creek.
Archer's Creek. Archer's Creek. Is it? Okay. What's going on?
It's by Paris Island.
Right. What's going on?
We're in a boat crash.
You know what kind of a?
A boat crash.
A boat? Did you say a boat crash?
A boat crash.
Okay, so you're at the dock? Hello, are you at the dock?
No, we just crashed in a boat.
Okay, are you in the water or are you?
We're in the boat.
I think they're in a boat.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, okay?
I'm calling in reference to a boat crash. There's 6 people on board. They currently have 1 missing. All right, it's in Archer's Creek, which is right there off of Paris Island. There's a bridge on Paris Island. They're underneath it. They crashed into the bridge.
Alpha 29, this time.
10-4. I'll be en route to the Bell Bridge. Can you also notify Port Royal and PMO know as well?
Affirmative. We're making notification.
All the dispatch.
Okay, do you have a description at first? It's 1 female. That's all the description I have of her right now.
EMS 1 respond to an accident with injuries.
50 Marina Drive Boulevard from Paris Island. Repeating. It's going to be a change in that location. They're on Malecon Drive, down right before you get to the traffic circle.
Copy. County's on scene, Port Royal's on scene. Evidently, the girl was sitting on her boyfriend's lap when they hit the bridge at a high rate of speed, and now she's missing.
Which bridge did they hit? The one on the causeway?
Stand by, sir. They hit the actual Paris Island Bridge, right? We don't know. They're not. They just keep telling us they hit the bridge. 310 got on scene. He said the fog is pretty thick. At first, he couldn't even find who they were. Find them. Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it with that. So there's a little bit of mystery that still is surrounding this. The death of Mallory Beach. But one thing we know for sure is that without the events of February 24th, which is when this happened, February 24th, 2019, we might not be talking about this Murdaugh trial today, because this is what really got the ball rolling.
And this was son Paul on the boat, right?
Yes. So the evening of February 24th, 19-year-old Paul Murdaugh and a group of friends were returning to the Murdaugh's house or estate. They're on their boat, partying on the boat. And according to nearly all the witnesses that were there, Paul insisted on driving the boat himself, and he was extremely intoxicated. So it was him and Paul and his girlfriend. It was, I don't know all their names, maybe Chase and Mallory. It was, I think, 6 people on the boat. They were out partying, drinking. They go and they wanted to stop at some, I guess it would be like a Slippery Minnow kind of a place. Like they wanted to stop at some bar along the lake or river, whatever this is. And everybody on the boat was like, no, don't. We don't.
You're drunk enough.
You're drunk. Don't. And apparently he ran the show because he's a Murdaugh and he can do whatever he wants. And he does.
It's my boat.
It's my boat. And
this is what I want.
My land.
It's my red hair.
It's my red hair. Yeah. And he was like a dick to his girlfriend. He would like push her around. He was just like not a nice person. And I know he's dead, but he's just not a nice person. Yeah. So he goes anyway and goes up to this bar, restaurant, whatever, and takes a couple shots, and then he comes back. And apparently in the HBO documentary, they said that anytime he was like really, really, really drunk, he took on this whole, different personality, and he had this weird finger thing. Like his hands would like spread out super far, like his fingers would spread out real far, and he would talk with his and so that they knew that he was like really drunk whenever his fingers were real spread out. I guess it was just like like a tick or something. So all that to say, that's kind of how he was acting while he was on the boat. And so that's how he was driving. So he was reportedly belligerent, angry, refused to give up the wheel, driving erratically and too fast along this extremely twisted waterway. So in the early morning hours, he crashed the boat into Archer's Creek Bridge, ejecting multiple passengers from the boat, including 19-year-old Mallory Beach. It took authorities a week to find her body.
But that wasn't his girlfriend.
That was not his girlfriend. That was another one, another guy's girlfriend. And despite his, y'all, this is where it gets, despite the signs of how drunk and intoxicated he was, authorities magically failed to record his intoxication levels at the scene.
Or no tests, no
breathalyzer.
Then at the hospital, just wait. Multiple witnesses confirmed that Paul was still drunk and uncooperative. They also noticed that Alec arrived to the hospital and started to threaten and attempt to coerce witnesses there, encouraging them to stick to a version of events that cleared Paul of any wrongdoing, basically saying he didn't drive the boat. You were driving the boat, weren't you? You were driving the boat, trying to blame it on these other kids.
Yeah.
And the other kids are like, no, I wasn't driving, no, I wasn't driving the boat. So Mallory Beach's death led to a mass of lawsuits and criminal investigations focusing on Paul Murdaugh. And this case the beach case grew coincided with all of these financial troubles that Alec was having, and it all the suspicions about fraudulent activities and how desperate he seemed to shift the blame from his son to this other kid. And it was just why is he so desperately trying to do this? Because he doesn't have money to pay for, if his kid gets in trouble, he can't get him out of it because he can't pay anybody to sweep it under the rug. So in 2019, which was later that year, son Paul, was charged with 3 criminal counts of felony boating under the influence.
Good.
Pled not guilty.
When did they actually figure out that he was drinking? Because they ended up doing a BAC at the hospital, didn't they?
I don't know how they couldn't tell. I'm sure they did.
The police did it, but I think the hospital ended up doing it for some reason. And so they questioned the police afterwards.
They just were they had to strap him down in the bed because he was so obnoxious and so drunk.
I think the nurses
and he was an idiot. He's being an idiot. I mean, it is. So, yeah. So the Beach's family sued basically the entire Murdaugh family for her wrongful death. And they alleged that Alec and Randolph, which was his brother, and Paul and Buster conspired to cover up the cause of her death. Because they all had
How do you cover that up? What are they going to say?
Well, because they were trying to pin it on another kid.
Oh.
And they were just trying to get Paul cleared of everything. So around while all this, and there's video of them because they all went to the hospital and were going into everybody's room who was at the hospital, because they had other cuts and stuff, but I just can't believe she was ejected.
And the police, how easily it is. You're going fast and on the water and the waves.
Yeah.
The police said that it was unclear who was actually driving at the time, so they didn't give anybody a breathalyzer.
Right. Well,
instead of giving everybody a breathalyzer.
But then you have the other guy over here saying, every other person said Paul was driving.
Yeah.
But then the police are over here saying, "Oh, it's unclear."
They were in the Murdaugh's pocket.
Around this time, community members started putting all these pieces together, accusing the Murdaughs of using their power and influence in the community, and they were saying how they were trying to delay the trial. And in this lead up, there were 3 different law enforcement officials that recused themselves from this case because of their close ties to the Murdaugh family. I wonder why they did that. In June 2021, Paul Murdaugh was just a few days away from what would have been a very costly and expensive trial for Mallory Beach's death. However, he would not make it to his court date.
What happens?
What happened in June 2021? That would be the deaths of Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. Wow. How this all ties together blows my mind. Speaking of blowing my mind, his mind was basically blown.
Oh, yes. Are you gonna
literally?
Tell us?
Yes. And I have 2 more clips. This is I'm playing all the clips.
We're going to get copyrighted.
Nah. So during the summer of 2021, public interest grew around this case, around the Murdaughs, all these people. Some sources reported that Maggie had recently become estranged from from Alec. They'd been married at this time for 30 years, and apparently she was this is alleged. I've heard different stuff. Apparently she was living at their beach house, and that she was looking into a divorce, but this hasn't come out yet in the trial, which is still the beginning of it.
And that's what, they said they had multiple islands. Why don't you just sell an island and get out of debt? Why do you have to kill people or commit fraud?
I don't know.
Sell one of your 3 islands.
I know.
I'm sorry,
your
what?
14 houses.
Yeah. They have islands?
Islands.
In South Carolina or somewhere down in the Caribbean?
I don't know.
Who the hell has 3 islands?
I guess with
but then you're gonna kill your kid because you don't want to pay for the trial. But sell half of an island.
I mean, how much does an island even cost? $1 million? Sell your
That's
islands.
way above anything I've ever even tried
That's
to
way above my
contemplate.
grade. So according to the defense opening statement, the cause of like there was no issue with Maggie and Alec. Like they were just so loving. Everyone in the town can attest to how loving they were. I mean, come on, how dare you say that? How dare you? But Alec was knee deep in fraud schemes.
Wow.
Which we know. So he's facing this huge, like, all these legal fees. And also, he is battling what he claimed as a 20-year opioid addiction. So he's been taking those pain pills. And now we're getting to the opening statements. So June 7th, 2021, this is the day that Paul and Maggie were shot.
Okay.
Alec, this is according to Maggie, so she had allegedly texted a friend and said that, Alec wants me to come to our Moselle property. She didn't like being there. That's their hunting lodge. She liked being at their beach house. I don't know if this is on one of their islands or if this is like down the street, but that's where she liked to be. So when he was trying to get her to come over there, her antennas were up. She texted a friend. She said something's fishy. He's up to something. I don't know. Okay, this is just reports. And when she got there to their estate, she met her son Paul, and they went over to the dog kennels. So how this it's like you go through this gate and you go down this long gravel road. And if you go straight into their house, but then you can turn right and it's like all this property, and there's this place where there's this huge dog kennel. Like it's all these cages, and it can keep a ton of dogs.
Yeah.
All right. And so there's
Are they like Michael Vick and they're breeding pit bulls?
Well, if it's their hunting place, they might be like
hunting dogs, I guess.
Type of thing.
And I
so
think
when
maybe
they come out
would
there to hunt. Everyone brings their dog, and that's where they keep them. That's a rich people thing.
That is, yes.
Well, I liked mine better. It's Michael Vick and they're breeding pit bulls and fighting pit bulls.
Well, I do have a link that I'll post to you, because I did find this cool drone footage that shows over all the town, and it shows this area, because I'm very visual. So I was like, what do you mean dog kennels? Like, I just think of one box, like a little box. But no, this is like a big. But like the point is it's not close by the house. Like, it's a distance. Like, you need to drive your car over there.
And that's where they were, because he said kennels in the 911 call.
Yes.
Okay.
So dogs were barking in the background at the 911
yes.
call.
And so this is where they were shot, was by the dog kennels. So upon like getting there, like, so Maggie meets up with her son. She meets with Paul there by the dog kennels. And while they're both there, that's where they are gunned down with 2 different weapons. Maggie is shot with an assault style rifle, and Paul is shot with a shotgun.
So are you going to tell us why Paul was there, or does he live there? Or is that later?
Don't think he lives there, but I think maybe he was just there to do like hunting stuff or like caring for the dogs. I think he was caring for the dogs. Okay. So let me play you the opening statements, a clip of the opening statements from the prosecution.
That's the ones that are not his friend, right?
Yeah.
They want to prosecute him.
Yes, that's the state.
That's the state.
That's the
yeah.
state.
That's the DA or the ADA.
Or the solicitor. No.
Excuse me. Yes, the solicitor.
I don't know.
I think that's also over in Europe. That's what they call them over there too.
That doesn't even sound braggable. Sounds like you human traffic people.
Okay.
Took a 12-gauge shotgun and shot him in the shoulder, in the chest and the shoulder with buckshot. And the evidence is going to show it was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. He could have survived that, but after that, another shot went up under his head and did catastrophic damage. to his brain and his head. The evidence collapsed right outside that feed room. And just moments later, he picked up a .300 Blackout, which is a type of ammunition, but an AR-style rifle. And the evidence is going to show that the family had multiple weapons throughout the property. Picked up that .300 Blackout rifle and opened fire on his wife, Maggie, just feet away near some sheds that used to be a hangar. Pow, pow. The evidence is going to show that neither Paul nor Maggie had any defensive wounds. Neither one of them had any defensive wounds, as if they didn't see a threat coming from their attacker. And the evidence is also going to show that both Maggie and Paul were shot at extremely close range. The evidence is going to show it's called stippling. It's almost like a tattoo, that when you get shot very close to a weapon, it leaves marks that the forensic pathologist can see. They were shot at close range and they did not have defensive wounds. And the evidence is going to show that the defendant, Alex Murdaugh over there, told anyone who would listen that he was never at those kennels. But the evidence is also going to show from these things that every one of us, most of us carry around in our pocket, that he was there. And he was there just minutes before, with Maggie and Paul, just minutes before their cell phones go silent forever and ever.
Damn! Okay, so Creighton Waters, he's the prosecutor. He's the main one. He walks the jury through a minute-by-minute timeline of the family's movements the night of the killings, forensic evidence that they'll present, including cell phone data, ballistic evidence, video statements from Alex Murdaugh, body-worn camera footage that shows the crime scene. And he says that although Murdaugh claimed that he was never at the dog kennels at the family estate, that the voice of Alex and his wife and Paul can be heard on cell phone video because Paul took a Snapchat video, and the Snapchat was taken by Paul around 8:45 near where the murders took place. He said minutes after the video was taken, Murdaugh shot his son with a shotgun and then shot his wife with a rifle, inflicting catastrophic damage. This is all from the prosecution. This is what came out just the other day.
So they think it was the son first, then the wife.
Then they said after the killings, gunshot residue was found on Murdaugh and the seatbelt of the vehicle that he was in and on the raincoat that was found in his parents' home because it was apparently raining. And that was a whole new thing that has not been talked about except for in the opening statements. We don't know much about this raincoat or this blue or this tarp or whatever. So we're just kind of learning about it. Mm-hmm. Then he says, quote, "You're going to see what he did to Maggie and Paul, and it's going to be gruesome. This has been a long, exhaustive investigation, but you will reach an inexcusable conclusion that he murdered Maggie and Paul." And then our last clip of the day, we got the defense. And this one is gory. So if you don't want any goriness, you need to fast forward 2 minutes. But I'm here for the gory, so get ready.
What we do know is 12 gauge evacuating. What we do know is 12 gauge, fairly close range shot to the chest. He must have been turned because it comes out under his arm. There's wadding, if you're familiar with a shotgun, under his arm. The second shot ended up, and there's going to be some question about the direction of that shot, but ended up entering his skull cavity, and the gases from that shot literally exploded his head like a watermelon hit with a sledgehammer. All that was left was the front of his face. Everything else was gone. His brain exploded out of his head after she hit the balls to the ground and had one bullet that has hit her and probably traveled up and hit her brain. She's on the ground, and whoever the perpetrator was walked up, took that AR, and put one in the back of her head. Executed. Executed. Why? This is going to be interesting because we don't know why. He doesn't know why. He's got theories of this and theories of that, but why? Number one. Number two, what was it in that hour between when he's yucking it up with Paul? And let me say this to you. He was interviewed. He comes home and finds, there's no question about this, shot.
This is how his opening went. I mean, it was very like intense, but then he kind of like jumped around a lot. It seemed like.
Yeah. Why does he want that to be the first thing they hear?
Okay, because he's trying to put it. No, he's trying to put it in their head, in the jury's head, that this is so awful and horrible that there's no way that a parent could do this to their child. Because it was so brutal and so gruesome looking, like that because after he talked about the sledgehammer and the watermelon and the brain and dropping to their feet, he was like, horrible, horrible, that's horrible. Just like that.
How do you not like?
Praise God.
If he didn't do it, to me, Alex should have just like fell out. Like to hearing that, and this is your kid. And that his brain is everywhere. If he was innocent, to me.
Well, my question is, how is whenever he allegedly like finds the bodies, if this is how they're describing it, are you going to go up to them and try to check a pulse?
Oh, and yeah,
if your brain is exploded out, are you going to come try to check my pulse? He said he went and flipped over because at the 911 call, they're like, Did you touch them? And he was like, yeah, I went to go check to see if they had a pulse. If you have no face, your head is exploded. You're just, oh, by the way, let me see if you have a pulse.
And then the cop testified that he asked multiple times, are they dead? Could they be alive? Are they dead? And so the cop was like, anybody with any type of brain would be able to know at first glance that they were both all the way dead.
Clearly.
All the way dead.
I wish I was on the jury. This is defense attorney Dick Harpootlian.
Dick.
You know, and by the way, Alex's name is Richard Alex Murdaugh. So we have two Dicks. Okay, so we have Dick Harpootlian over here. He begins the opening statement describing the Murdaugh, the loving husband and father. He asks Alex, stand up. Oh, look, because he's like, stand up. Let's show everybody who you are. And they're like, why is he doing that? That's weird. And they're like, well, to show that he's not a threat. Whatever. So he's asking him to stand up. And they're like, he talks about the Snapchat video because he says how they were yucking it up. That's what he said in his statement. Oh, because they were like, he said they were hanging out. They went to drive in the truck beforehand and whatever. And they're like getting along. So if they're getting along so well, why would he kill him like within the hour?
And there was an extended maybe 911 call where the dad was like, I was just with him in the truck for 2 hours, me and Paul.
And also another part of the extended 911 call was that he asked if they were breathing or something, or 911 asked if they're breathing or something, and he was like, hell no. Or no, they asked did they do this to their self? Did they do it to their self? And he was like, hell no. But they cut that out of the 911 call, and I didn't understand why. Like, why was that important to cut out if they did it to themselves? I don't know. But yeah, there was some things that were cut out. So
you mean for the trial that was cut out?
Yeah. They played it in the trial today, but it wasn't in the original 911 call that we played on this episode today.
Maybe just to cut down.
It was not even long.
Oh.
It was like it was just one question, one answer. I don't know why they cut it out. I don't know. It's real odd. So Dick tells the jury that there's no eyewitnesses to the shootings. There's no forensic evidence. There's no fingerprints. There's no blood connection to the scenes. He graphically describes everything as we heard. And he was like, well, like if Alec did this, then he would have been covered in blood, but there was no blood found on his clothes after the night of the killings. But then if he went and touched him, shouldn't he have blood on his clothes? Like, I don't know. There's some.
Where was Buster?
Yeah.
Buster was nowhere. I don't know where he was. He was. I mean, he was around, but he wasn't like there at the scene. But what's also weird, his whole alibi is like he went to go check on his mom because his mom was sick, and then his mom had dementia. He went to go check on his mom, and then there's a caregiver there. Now the caregiver is supposed to testify to see if Alec actually went over there and the time frame. And there's a lot of things that we don't know that we're finding out in the trial. So we'll have to do an update to the episode.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to tell you all what's in, like, what I've read about what happened at this, because I want to wait until after we hear all the details.
Now they know, but they did say he had a shotgun with him at that time.
So what they did was when he was on the 911 call, they told him that they did not want him. He was like, I'm going to go get a gun to protect myself. And they're like, no, don't go get a gun. The officers do not want you having a gun to protect yourself, because that's going to just pose a danger to them, and they don't know who did this. And then in the next breath, he's saying like he wanted to get off the phone in a hurry to 911 because he wanted to call his family. But then if he's worried about there's a perpetrator out here who just killed his wife and his son, why is he wanting to call his family to come over? You know what I mean? Like, that's weird.
I think it's weird that you find your family dead and you go run and get a gun and then come back and call. That's how I understood what he explained why he had that gun at the scene, is that he saw them, thought there was a threat, drove wherever his guns are, got his gun, and then came back, and that's why he had a shotgun for his own protection.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he went to go retrieve the shotgun, in case the gunman was in the area. And then he came back to the bodies. Like, what?
But I guess they haven't linked that gun to theirs.
There's a whole bunch of gun stuff
there's a lot of guns.
And there's a bunch of ballistics and bullets and all casings and all these things.
I think he used 2 guns to make people think that there might have been 2 shooters.
People.
Yeah.
Or he convinced wife, we need to kill Paul. He's out of control. He's going to embarrass us. He's going to make us go broke.
But
so
wife
Mama killed him, and then he backdoored and shot Mama in the back of the head.
Oh, that's it.
Because she's just as
yes. She's just as thirsty as he is.
Conniving, yeah.
I think.
But then also, Buster's not innocent. So.
Because Mom was shot as she's like running. Yes. And then she's shot as she's running. She has 5 shots. She had 5 shots. But they said she was running away from wherever the shooter was. And then I don't know, I'm laughing because this is how I have to do it. And she falls to her knees, and then she shot twice running, falls to her knees, and is like, I surrender kind of thing. Gets shot again, falls to the ground, and then gets 2 shots execution style.
Wow.
I'm not laughing. I'm just like, I don't know how else to do it.
Caroline laughs at funerals.
I can't. She's like, it's so awful that it's so, I don't know. It's terrible. Okay. So Dick, again, his name's Dick. There's all these Dicks and there's all these people. He questioned whether there was enough time for Murdaugh to have killed his family, gotten rid of the evidence, begin driving to his parents' house, and all this other stuff, hide the guns, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's basically saying that there was more than, he said, it's much more likely that there were 2 people responsible for this.
Buster.
And,
where you at, Buster?
He said, quote, he didn't do it. He is innocent. He would require a verdict of not guilty from you. That's the law. That's your oath.
I love the face she makes when she impersonates.
Real serious.
I'm telling you.
So, Where are we now? This is where we are. This is where we are. We're here. This is where we are, and we are here. And
so I think
yes,
that Buster does have a thing to do with it.
Yeah.
Dad did do it, but Buster then is framing Dad. So when it's all said and done, Buster's the only one left.
Yeah.
For the whatever. I don't know. I don't know. He's so in debt. Would he even inherit any money from Dad if Alec went to prison?
I think Paul was the middle child, and so and
he was the middle or the little.
It's
wasn't there just two?
Yeah,
there's just
the
two. He was
second
just the
one.
youngest one.
And the
so
one
you don't
that
get
got
to make
the
a
most
connection to Caroline this time for being the middle
but
child.
I think he's the one that gets to. They got in the most trouble.
As the oldest child, I know what it's like to always have to take the blame, and your little ones, the little siblings, get away with everything. So I'm telling you, Buster did it.
And I think Buster tried harder to make Dad happy. Because Paul disappointed Dad so much.
But Paul was still the favorite by probably both Mom and Dad because he's the baby.
Maybe so.
Well, what's interesting is allegedly that you have like your jailhouse phone calls. Well, apparently Alec has paid off people, so then his calls weren't recorded or like called under his own name, so he could like do whatever. But one of them that is recorded is he was talking to Buster, asking Buster, "Hey, do you want to go shoot at the property? Like, do you want to go hunt at the property? Like the Moselle? Yes, after." Hey, yeah, there's some people that are going to go shoot out the property if you want to go. And Buster's like, no, I don't. And he's like, are you sure? Because I think that a few people are going to go out there and they're going to go shooting at the property. And he's like, yeah, I'm good.
I don't want to go.
He's like, okay, well, if you change your mind, you want to go out there and shoot. And like, he doesn't want to go out there and shoot. Like, what?
So what does Buster do for a living? Is he an attorney too?
No, he is He's in hiding. He was in hiding. Nobody knew where he was. He
was at the trial. They saw him
He's been
at the
trial, which is weird because he's apparently supposed to be a witness, or like not a witness, but
is he?
Yeah.
Is he a hostile witness for like the
No,
prosecution?
he's supposed to be a. He isn't a witness list. He isn't a witness list.
In the thing?
I don't know. We don't know.
Oh,
we don't know.
We did find that out with Casey Anthony.
Well,
Daddy was able to sit in court the whole time. Because he was next of kin of the victim. So if you're next of kin of the victim, even though you're testifying, you can sit throughout the trial. But if you weren't next of kin, so if he wasn't son and brother.
What does next of kin mean?
Immediate family.
Like mom
immediate
or child?
Well, in this case, because mom and brother are dead, he's the only next of kin in that immediate family.
Yeah.
So that's why Casey Anthony's dad got to sit through the whole trial.
I remember that there was
so that's why he'll probably get to sit through the whole trial if he chooses to.
Yeah.
Because it's the same relation. This is your mama on this side, but it's your daddy on this side. Your mom's the victim, but your dad's prosecution or whatever in trouble.
That could.
So that's probably why. Wow.
I feel like that's enough. We've had enough of this. We've had enough calls. We've had enough recordings. And listen, I know a lot of y'all wanted to hear about this. And I was waiting on the perfect time, which now was the perfect time because we got the trial.
Yes.
We got
so
the
it's
trial.
Ongoing.
So we will definitely circle back, as Jen Psaki likes to say. We will circle back to this after the case has concluded. If you are not, you need to follow the Instagram, which also goes to the Facebook. But we are posting Instagram stories on this case, updates regularly to keep everybody. And I haven't done. I've just done based on the trial updates, not like going far back. So,
oh yeah, wow.
Because I knew we were doing this episode. So, go follow us on the gram, the book, whatever you call that. I don't know, whatever.
And if you haven't done so already, rate, review, and subscribe, and keep sharing with your friends. You guys are doing something right because we grew by 3,000 people.
Oh my gosh,
listeners, downloads. Since January.
Who?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Thanks, UK.
So keep sharing.
Share it overseas. Do it and do it more.
Do it. All right. Rate, review, and subscribe. Anything else? Buy us around for next.
Yeah, you can send us a Venmo. You can send us a Cash App. Bloody Happy Hour, at Bloody Happy Hour, whatever. Everything's Bloody Happy Hour. You can send us an email, tell us how great we are. You can go leave us a review telling us how I slurped my drink too much or April coughs in the mic too much. Whatever. We like it all.
We do it all.
We like all the feedback. Maybe you don't like that Suzanne has all these tattoos. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm ready to go get more.
I mean, just because she has a tramp stamp, don't judge.
Don't
all ladies
judge.
of the 90s, dude. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Thanks for coming on, Suzanne.
Woo woo.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.